Hey, good morning everybody. This is Brant. Thanks for watching Golf Chat. Today is going to be another single day, just me golfing, and it's story time with Brant. So figured while we're walking along on the course, we're walking today here at Veterans Golf Course, a little par 3, 9-hole course. Figured I would just tell some stories, some I think are funny, some maybe aren't funny, but are just kind of life lesson type stories, but we'll chat as we go. Thanks for watching. Okay, starting out here, we got our lovely par 3. It says it's about 170 from here. I've got a 6-iron. Didn't get any warm up in. I always have to throw out the disclaimer. And can I just stay out of the trees for once? Nope, I cannot. Hey, but at least it dropped in the fairway, so hit the big tree up there on the right, and it came down left, so yay me. Okay, so let's have our first story of the day. I think this first one is kind of a short one, and that's probably good because this is a par 3. But you know, we all probably have one of those friends that you just felt like growing up you could mess with a little bit. And so while I will be sharing some names today, I won't give full names so that I don't totally embarrass the guilty here or the accused, but Paul is probably my oldest buddy, and after a series of us messing with each other, he was getting prepared to go on a date one night, and while he was in showering, I was hanging out at his house. I decided it would be a pretty good idea to go ahead and put some Nair hair removal cream in his underwear. So I did that, and yeah, it worked out well for me. Apparently when he got on the date, all of a sudden there seemed to be a little fire down below, if you know what I'm saying. He had to go into an airport bathroom. They were going down to pick up his mom. So he had to go into an airport bathroom and take off his underwear, clean off his parts in the sink in the airport bathroom, and then go commando the rest of the night. So, Paul, way to go, buddy. All right, so here we go. I got about 80 yards here, so I'm gonna go with the sand wedge and just kind of give it about a half swing. 80 yards thanks to the tree. Okay, don't know if you picked it up, but it's probably about 5 feet or so from the pin. So, okay, the shot here on the green ended up not being too bad. Oh. So here we go. Got about 15 feet to get the par here. So, give you the action photo with the ball coming right at you. Gonna be uphill, hopefully fairly straight. And as I usually do, leave it short. So this for the bogey. Okay, starting out with a 4. Way to go, Brant. We are now on the second hole, par 4. It says 300 yards. I don't think it's quite that much, but it is a bit of a dog leg to the left here, so I don't really have a shot shaping capability in my swing repertoire, so it's mainly just try and keep it out of the trees on the left. I don't want to lose a ball today. Okay, got a good swing on it. It kind of faded on me a bit, but I should have a pretty good shot in unless I'm stuck up there in some trees, but so far so good. Okay, so on this next stories with Brant, I'm gonna go back. Like, everybody has some embarrassing moments in their life. I've got a few of them. So one night in high school, my parents wanted to take the boat out, and so I thought I would call a friend and see if she wanted to come out with us. And as would happen with high school kids, sometimes you get a little bit cocky. So my dad had mentioned to me that what I should do is get on a knee board, lay down on it, and then he was going to get the boat going at top speed, and then he wanted me to arch my back, push the board out from underneath me, and try to basically body surf behind the boat, which is fine. You know, I thought I could do it. It wouldn't be a big deal. So we get up to speed, and I arch my back and I push the board out, and the second that I hit the water, it ripped my shorts off, and I bounced in the air for everyone to see, and then I landed very hard, I would say, like belly flop hard. So it knocked the wind out of me, hurt some other things, mainly being my pride. I reached down to grab my shorts, which were at my ankles, and pulled them up as the boat was coming back around, and realized that the shorts had like a snap on the front, and it had just shredded the front of my shorts. So there was no buttoning them up again, and I had to try and figure out how to get back in the boat. Plus I was hurting, so I just waved them to do another pass, come around and get me a second time so I could get a chance to catch my breath just a little bit. And unfortunately that girl chose to never go out on a date with me again. So I don't know the exact reasons why, but that may have had something to do with it. In my defense, Ryrie Reservoir is pretty cold anytime, even in the summer. Okay, every dang time. Hit behind this tree over here. So I got about 100 yards to go. Can't throw it up over the trees, so I gotta just try and hit something low, go underneath them, and try and run it up there. I will say that shot was outstanding. Up on the green, third shot. Gonna be putting for a par. GoPro stuff. Okay, so I am not on the green, but I'm still gonna putt it anyway. It's about 40 feet coming off the fringe here. It's gonna run left to right. It's downhill. It could go quick. I don't know how I'm going to do controlling this, but apparently not very good. Okay, that was a 4. Here's my bogey. And here's my double. Double for the loss. Sweet. Okay, we got a par 3, 160-ish. Got a 7-iron. I tend to get really afraid of what is on the right here, and so I tend to go left in those little shrubby trees. Hitting the ball a little bit better today. Maybe that'll bode well for me, and I can get something up there close. Okay, just a little short left, but not in any trouble, so I'll take that. Story here. This one again has to do with my buddy Paul, and this was after he was married and my wife and I were married. we were driving, I think, from Idaho down to Utah. We were in separate cars. We didn't want to stop. It was getting late. I really had to go to the bathroom. And so I happened to find something in the car that I could use to relieve myself. It happened to be a big plastic bag, kind of like a Subway sandwich bag or something. So I proceeded to fill up the bag, and then I had Cheryl drive up in front of Paul's car while we were doing about 70 down the freeway. I threw it out. Paul's pretty particular about his vehicles, kind of always has been. So the bag went to his front grill and the wind caught it, flew it up, and it exploded on his windshield. I immediately just started busting up laughing. I couldn't contain myself. And I could just see him mouthing from his car, "Was that pee?" And as I'm watching it run over the top, this is so dumb, run over the top of his Tahoe and off the back. So yeah, I confess that's what it was. Later we stopped, we were having a good laugh, and he had bought a Slim Jim or something, some beef jerky. He offered me a bite. When I went to take a bite, he stabbed me in the back of the throat with it to get me back. So thanks, Paul, you're a good man. Okay, up here, probably 30 or 40 feet off the green. Really not a bad shot. I'll take it. I've not been ever very consistent about these short shots. So, hoping just a little chip here and roll it up close. And I nailed it. I just chipped in for a 2. So maybe this is my day. Okay, we got a par 4. It says 260 on the placard, but I think it's really only like 220 or 230 from here. So technically drivable, but I never have, and not super accurate with the driver. Thought that had a little draw on it rolling up there. Should be close to the green, maybe 15-20 yards short, and so I'll take it. All right, walking up the fairway here on hole number 4. The story for this one is really just about finding a way to have some fun at work. So it was probably a year or so after I got here to my current job, I'm the CEO, and you might think, well, is it really appropriate for a CEO to do this? But sometimes you just don't think about that stuff and you just do it. So we had kind of made a pact with some other senior leaders at the credit union to bring all of their Nerf gun ammo with them and any Nerf guns that they had into the branch, and into the office, and then at 7 a.m. we were gonna have a Nerf war. So we then when everybody showed up, we just started talking, and I thought, okay, well, let's go through and maybe we'll just terrorize some of the other employees who are here this morning. And so we all loaded up. I literally kicked a door to get it to open. We flew through and we started firing at people. They were running for cover. Unfortunately, and this I didn't know until after, we did have a member who came in early in the conference room and was meeting with our financial advisor. So that was not professional. And one of the employees that we shot with a Nerf gun thought it was inappropriate and actually wanted to report us to HR. But the problem is our chief administrative officer, who was over HR, was one of the people also doing the shooting. So we just had to apologize and hope that he could forgive us. So have some fun at work. It's a good time. These are people that you spend a lot of time with, and of course don't do anything inappropriate, which maybe what we did was inappropriate, but it was still a lot of fun. Okay, I was a little short here of the green. I got about another 30-yard chip, so I'm just going to try and do exactly what I did on the last hole. See if I can knock knock this up somewhere close. I might be getting a birdie here. Hit it up just a couple feet from the hole, and I'm excited about how this game is going today. Okay, so here's the shot. So I got this for a birdie, just a couple feet. Not even going to take my glove off. Okay, Brant, don't blow it. Just a nice straight putt. And that for a 3. Birdie me. Okay, this next hole is a par 3. It's about 170 yards. Normally that would be a 6-iron for me, but the wind is kind of in my face. So I'm going to hit a 5, try not to kill it, and see if I can land it up there on the green without going long and hitting the people who are on the tee box on the next hole. Oh, no fear of that. But I did get a nice kick right back into the middle of the fairway, and I'll probably have about a 100-yard shot going in. Okay, so the shot wasn't ideal, but next story with me. And this is something I just, for people who are out there trying to, do the best that they can in their job. I've talked before about how my friends growing up were really awesome. They taught me a lot of stuff, and one thing that they wanted me to do one year, I think I was like 16, was teach me how to snow ski. So we got to the hill, and they were all proficient at skiing. It was my first time, and I didn't want to slow any of them up, so I just said, hey, you guys show me how to get to the top of the hill, and by darn, I'll figure out how to get down. And so I did. They got me to the top, I started skiing, and by the end of the day, I was able to at least make it down the hill with them. Even though I wasn't a great skier, it was still a good time. So, just try something new. Don't give up. All right, we are about 100 yards. So this is my sand wedge. It's about the right distance for this club for me. This is about the right distance for this club for me, about 100 yards. And it's go to the left. But I'm on the green. I'll be putting. See you up there. Okay, here's the ball. There's the hole. So I did make it up here pin high. Again, just pushed it to the left. So now I got about a 30-footer to try and get this in. In the last video, it was about the same kind of 30-foot length. Go ahead. About the same 30-foot putt that I sunk, which made me happy. This ball is going to break right just about the hole, so if I can die it in there, might be able to get it close. Or hit the camera. Yeah, the camera saved me. So, whatever. Here you go, camera. That for a 4. I'm taking it, even though it's probably cheap. Okay, par 3, about 133 yards from here. There are bugs like crazy, and they're driving me nuts. But what's new? Okay, got a pitching wedge in hand. This is a club I typically use on this hole, and I usually end up left, but about pin high. So good swing on it. In the right direction should get me there. Well, I think I'm just off the green to the left, but again, not too bad. I think I'll be putting. Okay, so this next short story is just to show how cute and innocent my wife is. So as a part of our marriage ceremony, we kneel at an altar to take out our vows. So we're kneeling across from each other in the altar, and before we went in there, the person who was officiating our marriage said, now there will come a point where I will tell you to go ahead and kiss over the altar. He said, just don't make it an elaborate kiss, make it appropriate. So we get in and we get to that moment where he says that I can kiss her over the altar. I lean in to give her a kiss, and Cheryl turns and gives me her cheek to kiss. She was trying to be so obedient in making sure that it wasn't an elaborate kiss. And she's over cursing on the left now because she just chunked a shot. But she was so nervous about making it an elaborate kiss that she went full on, just kiss on the cheek and keeping it fully appropriate. And then the person who was officiating looked at her and to laugh said, you can kiss him on the lips. So anyway, it's important to be obedient, and no one should ever be mocked for it, but I think it was a cute story. Okay, so here's that shot. I'm just off the green here, a little bit to the left, a little more than pin high. I was about center of the green. So hit that about 135 probably. A little over 40 feet. See if we can't get something that's gonna at least get me a par, I hope. Get up close. Slow down, ball, stop. Don't go too far. I gotta make this thing, dang it. But I think this is gonna be a straight putt. Just gotta get it there. Nailed it for the par. Really am having my best round here so far at this course. Alright, got a par 3, about 140 here. And I tend to leave this one a little bit short and right. Chip, and off we go. So my other camera died, so I'm just going to be holding this while we walk. This next one is going to go out to the kids who maybe have the idea of sneaking out at night is a good idea. So getting back to my buddy Paul and I, one night we were having a sleepover at his house. We wanted to sneak out without telling his parents. Big mistake. But we were also tired, so we thought we might fall asleep. So we set an alarm to wake us up at 1 o'clock, and so we wouldn't miss it. Probably about midnight or 12:30, we decided to go ahead and go. So we stuffed pillows under the old pillows under the mat or under the blanket trick to make it look like we're in there. We snuck through his window to the outside, pushed my car out of the driveway, started it up, and drove out to his girlfriend's house. When we got there, though, we heard the phone ring, which was weird. And we heard his girlfriend's dad ask the mom if they had seen us. And she said, no, I don't know anything about them coming out here. So that, of course, scared us. We immediately got back in the car and drove back to his house. Tried to sneak back into the window. It was locked. That was a bummer. We wondered what we should do. We finally knocked on the door, and his sister came to the door and said, you guys are so dead. And then his dad came out. We got in a bit of trouble, and what sold us out was we forgot to turn off the alarm. So at 1 p.m., the stinking alarm clock went off. His mom went in the room to try and see what we were doing, turned the alarm clock off, found out we weren't there, and we were busted. So if you're gonna be dumb, you better be tough. I left myself with a not so fun shot here, so I'm going to try and run this up without killing it or leaving it too short. Oh, that's killing it. Okay, well, I'm going to have a long putt for a par. This one's about 36 feet, and it is going to drop from my left to my right. Most definitely. I get scared of it. Okay, 5 for me on a par 3. This is hole number 8. It is a par 4, roughly 286. Definitely a driver hole. There's some bad stuff up on the right and on the left that you got to be careful of. And I got the wind in my face. I have had a few shots on this hole where I've been able to put it down the middle of the fairway, but oftentimes I end up right and have to deal with trees and other messes of stuff that just aren't very fun. Right, 4 right. So throughout the course of my career, I've had people, well, it just comes up a lot that I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or a Mormon. Not because I bring it up, but just because weird things happen and it comes up. So one of those weird things that happened was several years ago. I was with the CEO of the credit union that I was at and our chief financial officer. We were driving up to a conference, and I was talking to them about how me being a Mormon comes up in conversation often. They thought that was really weird, that something like that would come up in conversation. They didn't really believe that that would happen. So we got to our dinner spot. The person who was hosting us was a little bit late, and so when he finally got there, he was in a bit of a rush, and he sat down and he said, "Okay, what are we drinking?" And I said, "Oh, I'm just going to have water." He says, "Water? What are you, a Mormon?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." And then he proceeded to talk about being a Catholic, which, again, not offended, it's kind of funny. Then a few years ago, we had a comedian come to our credit union to entertain our team for Christmas and a little Christmas get together. And he came over and pointed at me, or pointed at my wife and said, "Who are you here with?" And she pointed at me, and then he said, "Who are you with?" And just jokingly, I pointed to the person next to me. He goes, "Wow, this is weird. What are you, a Mormon?" I said, "Actually, yes, I am." And that's when the comedian dropped his microphone down, and he looked at me and he said, "Are you serious? Of all the people in the room that I make a joke about, you're actually a Mormon?" I said, "Yeah, I am, but it's not a big deal." So in life, just have fun with it. You know, people are just trying to be funny, have a good time. It's not discrimination or anything like that. So I'll just leave that to y'all. That is not me. Maybe this one is me. Yep, here's me. And of course, I have no shot at the green here, but I am about 94 yards. And again, I just got to do some sort of a low punch. Try and get around this tree. Get somewhere up there next to the green. And I flew that way over the back. So, catch y'all up at the green. Go pros. Looking at about a 22-footer here for par. Going to be pretty straight. I think it's going to move a little bit from left to right. take the bogey. Last hole, par 3, 183 with $1 million. 5 iron in hand. Typical play is left with this 5 iron, so maybe if I try and get it right, put it over top. Might be on the green if the green goes. Might be on the green if the green goes far enough to the right. But I'm up there at least, so it's a decent shot. All right, to end out the day, I'm going to tell one more story about my beloved wife and why, gentlemen, be smart when you challenge your wife. So many years ago, we were out boating, and Cheryl was driving the boat. A buddy of mine, we were back on a tube, and Cheryl was being very kind to us. She was taking us around slowly, not really trying to throw us off, or not really going over any big bumps, and I made the mistake of acting like I was bored and yawning and telling her she wasn't a very good driver. So she then proceeded to floor it and whip us, as can be done on a tube, and took us into a wave, and I swear I rolled 50 yards. She threw me off that thing so hard. I am positive that she somehow broke my neck, because I couldn't move my neck forever, and then I'll get all these, this is 15 years later, and I'll have these bouts where all of a sudden my neck stiffens up, and I think it's all because of my good wife. So, gentlemen, treat your wives nicely. Don't show off. Don't pretend to be bored when they have your life in their hands, because trust me, they'll figure out how to take your life. Okay, here's where that tee shot ended up, about hole high. So yardage and distance is right. Just a little bit on the ball control is what I need some help with. About 40 feet here to try and get a birdie. And I am going to leave it short. I'm going to get it about halfway there. But let's see if we can get this one in for par to end the round. Nope, jeez, that was not good. Bogey to end the round. So ultimately, guys, just wanted to share a few stories, let you get to know me a little bit more, leave some stories for my children and grandchildren to remember down the road when I'm long gone, and if they want to hear my voice. Just last night I happened to find the last voicemail that my dad left me many years ago, and he was actually calling to wish my wife a happy Mother's Day. So I've kept that voice message so I can hear his voice, remember him. So this is kind of why I'm doing this. I want my voice to be out there for my kids and grandkids to know a little bit more about me, who I was, some of my stupid stories, and that I enjoyed golf, and I've enjoyed life. I've loved every single bit of it. So have a great day. Thanks for watching Golf Chat. Please like and subscribe and tell your friends and all of that. You know, ultimately the goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers. We are not well on our way, but really haven't done any promotion on it. So we'd appreciate the help from you guys. Thanks.